All right. So this is the Dvar Malchut. It's a speech given by Lubavitcher Rebbe in 1991. And in it, he is saying that it seems that the message of this week's Torah portion and the month of Elul, which when the Rebbe was speaking, it was already the month of Elul. But by us, it's the Shabbat that blesses the month of Elul. But it's the same basic thing. There must be a connection, a deep connection between this week's Torah portion, because everything comes from the Torah, and the time when it is. So the time when it is relevant to the month of Elul. Elul, the whole idea of Elul is from below to above. We're serving God. Ani ladodi, I am to my beloved, and my beloved is to me. The month of Elul is we make a reckoning of the previous year, how to serve God better. What we do, we give to God. And the message of Re'eh, that's this week's Torah portion, is what God gives to us. And if you remember, the Rebbe went through a whole big detail about, it says, I, that's the essence of God, give. When someone gives, he gives with an open hand. I'm putting lifnechem, I'm giving you a free gift inside of your soul. I'm revealing myself to you. Hayom, right now I'm doing it. Hayom, and also the word Hayom means to reveal, like the day, to reveal. I'm giving a blessing, it says giving revealed blessings, and afterwards it says, and a curse. It says things would appear to us to be curses are really even bigger blessings. Even bigger blessings. So God is just giving and giving and giving and giving. We're doing nothing. We're just receiving. That's the message of Parshas Re'eh. We're receiving. We're receiving. God gives. The message of Elul is exactly the opposite. That God is not giving us everything. We're giving everything to God. We're doing the service. So what's the connection? The Rebbe says even more, we can see this connection between Rosh Chodesh Elul, the beginning of the month of Elul. In Judaism, some months have the Rosh Chodesh, the head of the month, is one day, and sometimes it's 2 days. When it's 2 days, then the last day of the previous month is considered to be the first day of next month. And it was the 30th day of is Rosh Chodesh Elul. The 30th day of the last day of is not officially called the month of. It's called Rosh Chodesh Elul. It's the first day of the next month. The date is not the next month, and the date is of. So the Rebbe said that the fact that Elul has in it these 2 days of and Elul here. Let's see. Here we go. Here. One second. 1 minute. 1 minute. Here, we can say that this is also hinted at the 2 days of Rosh Chodesh Elul. That is, the first day is Rosh Chodesh, is always, Elul is always 2 days. The first day of Rosh Chodesh is the 30th day of the previous month. Is the 30th day of the previous month of Av. That's already relevant to the months of the summer month. Av is the end of the summer months. Summer is from above to below. Sun is shining, everything is good. From a way of milamayla lamata, from above to below. That's Dodili. That's the month of Av. The second day of Rosh Chodesh is the first day of Elul. Elul is already Ani Ladodi, serving God from below to above. So if so, we see that Elul has in it a little bit of a hint of both of them. The first day of Elul is in the month of Av. That's the summer months from above to below, and from below to above. Okay, what is the Rebbe doing here? What does he want from us? The Rebbe is trying to stress to us that a Jew is a servant of God. That's what a Jew is, right? There is no better the description, definition of what a Jew is. A Jew is a person that serves God all the time, right? There's legal definitions if you have your mother is Jewish or you're converted according to law. But the essence of what a Jew is like Abraham, serving God, Eved Elohim. That's what a Jew is. A Jew is a person who feels his responsibility to the Creator to make this world a better place, according to the Torah. That's what a Jew is. Okay, do we feel that? We should. How can we feel it all the time? So the Rebbe says there's two ways of doing it. One is from below to above, and the other one is from above to below. Just one moment. I want to pause this one moment. Is it paused? No, that's just showing the screenshot. Okay. I'm sorry. Sorry, I made a wrong decision over here. I made a wrong decision. I think I got my screen share. Here we go. Okay, so that's the month. Okay, so there's two ways, so to speak, of serving God. One way of serving God is from below to above, like say Jews in the Holocaust, and they have nothing. We're giving everything to God. I want to put on tefillin every chance. I want to eat kosher every chance. I want to pray. But that's from above to below, bringing God from below. That was like Adam. Adam was created, had no problems. All he had to do was just appreciate what God gave. Right? That's serving from above to below. Just appreciate what God, just do what God says. Appreciate God from two different ways of serving God. From above to below to appreciate what God is giving us, and from below to above and to utilize it. And from below to above means to serve God despite the darkness and the sight. All right. Okay, so maybe now we can discuss the difference between. I'm skipping a little bit because when the Rebbe was speaking, it was already Rosh Chodesh. And so therefore, and the Rebbe connected everything, but the dates are different now than they were then. Okay. According to this, now we can explain the connection between Re'eh on Shabbat and Rosh Chodesh Elul. Since the Shabbat and Rosh Chodesh Elul are always Rosh Chodesh Elul is the first day of Elul is the last day, 30th day of Av. So now we can maybe understand that this is unifying them both together. It's taking the month of Elul, which is serving God from below to above. But the first day of Elul came from Av, which is the summer months, which that's serving from above to below. It says maybe that's why we read Parshas Re'eh, to show the unification of both of these things together. That it's both together. Okay, how is this supposed to be? And I would like to just make a short break here. 1 second. Here we go. Okay, so maybe we can say that Parshat Re'eh is talking about coming down, and Elul is talking about going up. And where are they unified? In Rosh Chodesh. Rosh Chodesh, because the first day of Rosh Chodesh is really relevant to Av. It's the last day of Av, the 30th of Av. It's called Rosh Chodesh Elul, though. That's from above to below. And this is from below to above. The month of Elul is from below to above. Says the Rebbe, but that's one answer. Aval bad mistaber yoter. It's more logical to say that Parshat Re'eh, that this week's Torah portion, Re'eh, is relevant not just to serving God from above to below, but Re'eh itself has both. It's serving also from below to above. Okay, we said that the month of Elul already has in it serving God from below to above and from above to below. Right? Ani Ladodi is serving God despite all the difficulties and our doubts and our darkness and our lack of enthusiasm, serving God, forcing ourselves from below to above to serve the creator of the universe in every situation, no matter what the situation is. And Dodi Li is realizing, think about how much God gave me. God gave me a godly soul. God gave me my life. Thinking about what God, that's in the month of Elul. But up to now, we've been saying that Re'eh indicates only one type of service, appreciating what God gives from above. God is giving, 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 giving. That's the thing of Re'eh. God gave himself, Anochi. It's to us, today is giving. Says the Rebbe, no, that's true. But I want to say that in the Parshas Re'eh is also contains our serving God from below to above. It has both. Even though the reading Parshas Re'eh on Shabbat Mavorchin, we bless the month of Elul, like this year, or B'Shabbat Rosh Chodesh Elul, like the year the Rebbe was speaking, is B'Siyumo, is the end of the month of the Inyano. Nevertheless, the main thing is of this Shabbat is relevant to the month of Elul. So we are reading Parshas Re'eh, and Parshas Re'eh is talking about appreciating what God gives us, and God does give us a lot, and we must appreciate it. But you have to remember that it's this Shabbos that we're blessing the month of Elul. And the month of Elul is the Inyan Hamshacha of, so Re'eh in the month of Elul means to draw down the blessings for the month of Elul, whether relevant to the Shabbat of Rosh Chodesh Elul, or Shabbat that blesses the month of Elul. That even though it's relevant to the months of Harihu, which the month of Av is the summer months, that's coming from above to below, but nevertheless, it is still the beginning of the Rosh Chodesh of Elul. And the main thing of Elul is Ani Ladodi, to serve God from below to above. But Od Ve'ikar, the main thing is, so the Rebbe is trying to encourage us to see how much God is encouraging us. Or maybe we can say it in another way, that God is encouraging us through the Rebbe. He's trying to tell us that we can serve God all the time, from below to above, and simultaneously appreciate the amazing blessings that God is giving us from above to below. Hagam also, in the end of the month of Av, that we bless the month of Elul, and also this is the first day of Elul, Shayach Kamar, it's already relevant to the month of Elul and Tishrei. That's the beginning of the months of the winter, when the service is from below to above. You do it like it's known, the custom of the Jewish people, that from the 15th day of Av and onward, people bless one another with Kativa v'chatima tova. There's a custom by some Jews. Kativa v'chatima tova. Maybe you have a good, blessed year. It's a month and a half away from the new year, but it's already going into the winter years. It's going into the new year. Like it's hinted at the mazel of the month of Av. What is the zodiac sign of the month of Av? It's a lion. It's a lion. It says a lion, that's a metaphor for God. Like it says, Aryeh Sha'ag mi lo yira, if a lion roars, who cannot be afraid? And this is referring to God. If God roars, in other words, when there's, like in the 6-Day War, when you see the roar of God, who can't be afraid? That's the first letters of the month of Elul are also the first letters of, what is it? Aleph, Lamed, Vav, Lamed. That's Rosh. One second. One second. Is this the first? First, it says first letters of Rosh Hashanah of Elul are Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippurim, Hoshana Rabbah. How does this work out? How did why didn't I must have missed this before. Give me a second. I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. I got it. I got it. I got it. I get it. 1 second. REA. It's REA. First letters of REA. 1 second. Excuse me 1 minute. I'm sorry, I lost the place temporarily. Give me a minute, please. Isn't this? I'm sorry, I just lost the place. Ah, isn't that terrible? I'm sorry, give me a moment, please. I'm sorry, I just had a temporary sort of a blackout over here. All right, I'm sorry for the confusion. It just scrolled down for a minute. Okay, the month of Elul is is the I'm sorry, the first day of the month of Elul is the last day of Av. The month of Av is its mazel zodiac is Aryeh. Aryeh is a lion. Aryeh is a metaphor for God. Like it says, if a lion roars, who will not be afraid? Right? Will not be afraid. In the prophet Amos, prophet Amos, that's what he says. Good. Will be afraid. Aryeh are the first letters of Elul, Aryeh. Elul, Rosh Hashanah, Ar, Yom HaKippur, and Hoshana Rabbah. Aleph, Elul, Reish, Rosh Hashanah, Aleph, Elul, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and Hey, Hoshana Rabbah. Hainu, Shebechodesh Menachem Av, that in the month of Av is hinted at the completion of Pitkatova, of all of the good decisions, blessings that God gave on Hoshana Rabbah. And it comes around for the whole entire year, Hoshana Rabbah. So, okay, so what are we saying? What are we saying? God is intimately involved in everything that we do. And God helps us, but he wants us to help him. That's the idea of what Adam was created, right? And that's all rolled up together in Elul. The month of Elul is the month when we make a preparation for Tishrei. Of course, on Tishrei, the Rosh Hashanah is the day that Adam was created. So this is all rolled up together in the creation of Adam, that he had to do both things: appreciate what God gave. That's the thing of Dodili or Ra'eh, and also serving God from below to above. That's the idea of Elul. Okay, so Parshas Ra'eh, and that we read it at the end of the month of Av, Shabbos Mavurchim, Shabbos Elul, etc., like this month. So this is relevant not just to what God gives us from above to below, but also to the service from below to above. That's the main thing of the month of Elul. Ani Ladodi. If so, Ra'eh, Parshas Ra'eh, also contains in it our service of God from below to above. Kamarumas, like it's hinted at also in this Torah portion, that the end of it is, it talks about the holidays, Pesach and Shavuot, the holidays of those, the Pesach and Shavuot, those are the holidays of the summer, that they're relevant to the service of Dodili, what God gives us to us. That's the summer months. And also in the end, it ends up with Chag HaSukkot, Taselecha, which that's serving God from below to above. That's the winter holidays. Ani Ladodi. Yesh Lomar, we can say, Habir Bezeh, that the explanation for this is by what we said before, that the month of Elul, it has in it, in addition to the two ways of serving God from below to above, Ani Ladodi, and from above to below, Dodi Li, there's also, and mainly, the joining of another sentence that's also the first letters, Elul. Okay, the joining, when it says Ani Ladodi Li, to join them both together. Nasa Shmo, it becomes one thing together, is the month of Elul. I'm sorry, not another sentence, not another sentence. That's explained in a different place. But here we're talking about the month of Elul. If you remember, we said before, the month of Elul has three types of service of God. One is Ani Ladodi. I unquestioningly serve God, regardless of what God gives me. That's not my issue whatsoever of what God gives me. What I give, Ani Ladodi. Then there's also another type of service, Vidodi Li, appreciating what God gave. And then there's a third type of service, all of them together. And there was naturally in your life, your day-to-day life, you're automatically serving God from below to above and appreciating what God is giving from above to below. That's one full word, Ani Ladodi, that includes both of these types of service of God. The Kudas Inyan, the main point is, Sheyesh Maila, there is something better in Ani Ladodi, serving God from below to above, in some ways is much better than appreciating what God gives from above to below. In other words, serving God in a desperate situation, in a dark situation, is better than being a tzaddik and serving God completely with all of your heart and all of your being, using all what God gives us. Is not as good as serving God from darkness. So why? We'll see. There's something that's one good quality about serving God from darkness, but there's also a good thing about Dodi Li, Lagabi Ani Ladodi, serving God using everything that God gives us to appreciate, looking at the world from God's point of view. What's the advantage of both of them over the other? Hashlemos Amiti, the true service is serving God in both ways together. Serving God both ways together. Okay, what's so good about serving God when there is no revelation? There is no inspiration. What's so good? It says the my love, Ani Ladodi, serving a person, when we do it all, this is in a way of we begin. We're the instigator. It's an arousal from below to above, of the idach. But on the other hand, even since Sha'adam, that a person, raise this up, set up that a person on his own is limited, B'yacholto, then he is in his ability to reach to an aspect of God, sheyesh lo erech v'sheichos l'agbalas adam, that is some sort of a God that I sort of understand. Or language of Chassidut, this is an arousal from below that's comparable to an arousal from above. In other words, God reacts in a comparable way to what we do. When we serve God from below, from the darkness, why would we serve God at all if it's from darkness? So it means we have some idea of what God is. Some idea what God is. Then we serve God. The best we can expect is that this idea that we had of what God is becomes a little clearer to us. Becomes clearer to us. So that's what's called an arousal from above, which comes by means of our arousal from below. God reacts according to what we do. We serve God in a very limited way, albeit, it's amazing that we serve God at all. But still, the way we serve this is according to our understanding of what God is. We did a little bit more.
than what we have to. It says, so good. It's true that we're serving God from the darkness, and that's a big novelty. But the level of godliness that we integrate into our personalities is a very low one, very simple. On the other hand, if we serve God in a way of appreciating what He gives from above, we serve God, so to speak, from our godly soul. Then there's a revelation of godliness which is incomparable to us. Dodi, abate, that's the second level of Dodi. Ani la Dodi, the Dodi li. So we're saying, I am to my beloved, to God, and God is to me. So it's the same God, Dodi. Says, no, it's not so. Ani la Dodi is a lower level of godliness. And Dodi li is a higher level of godliness. This is a higher level of how God loves us than the first level. In the language of Chassidut, this is an arousal from above, mimakom, from a place, she'ein eteruta delatata, that no arousal from below can reach. So if we serve God from the darkness, then it's a wonderful thing, a big novelty, but the aspect of God that's revealed by that is a lower level. It's according to what we did, according to how we serve God. But if we serve God according to what God does, the gifts that God does, then we're interacting with a higher aspect of God, how God is totally above anything that we can possibly do. That's what's called an arousal from above on its own. We learned about that before. We said that's masculine waters, Mayan Duchrin. The Adam, when it's this upper level of godliness is drawn down from above to below, is revealed the true idea of what's unlimited, even regarding to man. That's the basic idea of giving of the Torah, of the Moshiach. There'll be revelations of godliness which we never dreamed existed. Shaloch, and therefore, it's called the Adam. Lo ani, but li. Ani ladodi li. Shemoreh ala nitzchiut, something that's unlimited. It says, anytime it says li, it means unlimited. Kol makom shene'amar li eino zaz lo'olam. Okay, so we say ani ladodi, ani, that's the limited me, gives over to my creator, to my beloved. That's my beloved, how I understand it. Dodi li, that my beloved comes to me, that's a higher level of godliness that only God on his own can reveal. And that comes down to what's called li, to me, means something that's eternal. So if so, the revelation, when God does it all on his own, that's the best, right? It says in one way. But on the other hand, it doesn't come by means of our service. So it's called Nahama de Kisufa. It's called bread of shame. It's a handout. It's a level of godliness that we get for free. And we can't really appreciate that properly. The true completion of serving God is if we can do both of them together. We serve God regardless of what God gives us, but that's a lower aspect of God. And then God reacts and gives us a higher aspect of God that we never dreamed of. This should be constant. That's concealed in the month of Elul. Ani Dodi and Dodi li together. Milas avoda, this is the service of man from below to above, which is limited, and also the highness of unlimitedness, which can only come from God, both together. This is it hinted at the beginning and the end of the word Elul. Elul is ani, that's me, my, and the last word is li, that's unlimited. We said the word li is unlimited. That even the service of man should be in a way which is above any limitation, like we said before. And this is a thing which is possible for everybody. Now you have to remember that we're talking about when there's revelation that's unlimited, it doesn't mean that all of a sudden everything becomes like spacey and that there's everyone is floating in the air and that there's everybody has a halo around his head. What it means is that we feel that something infinite is happening, when we do what God wants. We feel something infinite is happening. Something not in this world is occurring when we do a commandment. That's called happiness. That's called simcha. We go out of ourselves. And we're going to talk about this more, God willing, tomorrow.